It might be useful, since I did a bunch of grading this weekend, to show you how to find your grades in Google Classroom. So if you're looking at your own personal Google Classroom homepage, you probably have other classes. I have my student version of myself enrolled in all of my classes, so that's what we're looking at here. First thing I want you to know is, first you can go to this to-do spot here, and it will give you a list of what's going on this week. You can look back if you want to. You can view them all if you want to. This is just what's been assigned, though. So then up here you see you have a toggle for missing. According to this, I'm missing everything because I don't do my own work on Google Classroom. But the other one that you're going to want to look at is the done category. So the way I've been doing Google Classroom grading is that I have been, if I go through and grade it and you haven't turned it in, I mark it as a 0. So that's what I've done here for myself. I've marked it as a 0, and I've returned it to you even though you technically never turned it in. The reason that I'm doing that is because currently Google Classroom will talk to SchoolTool, and I can import the grades right from Google Classroom into SchoolTool, which is really convenient, except if you don't have a grade because you didn't turn it in, it will get put into SchoolTool as a blank, which means it won't be getting averaged into your average. I like to put them in as 0s because I want you to know what happens if you never make them up. So that's why I always put in 0s into SchoolTool, and which is why I'm going to be putting 0s into Google Classroom so that they will translate into SchoolTool. That does not mean that these 0s are here forever. It just means that they're there until you do it, and this way you can see the most accurate view of your overall grade, because you'll be able to see what happens if you never do any of the stuff that you haven't completed so far. So excuse me. So that's the reason why you're going to see, a lot of you are going to see some of this. You're going to see a 0, and then it's going to say not turned in. That is simply so that when I import it into SchoolTool, it will go in as a 0. And again, that does not mean that it is a 0 for life. It just is a 0 until it gets done, and then it will not be a 0 anymore. So if you go back to your home spot where all of your classrooms are, and you click on one of your classrooms, your Google Stream might look just like mine. On the top, you have 3 options. You have classwork and you have people. Classwork is obviously where you're going to find everything organized by topic. These are all organized by various different categories. So just regular materials, labs, classwork, and then you also have a homework and a homework and a test and quizzes section, but you haven't really had much of that, so that's why that's not there. So if you look on the side here, you will see that you have the option to view your own work. So again, this is your work for this particular class. You can see that I grade 1, 2, 3, 4 of these things. I graded them. Student version of me obviously didn't do them, so I put them in as 0s and I turned them back. You can also see what's missing, and you can see what's been assigned that probably the due date hasn't come and gone yet. So you can see the due dates here are in the middle column. This says missing because we're past September 25th, but these just say this just says assigned because it's only the 27th when I'm making this video, so the 29th has not passed yet. This one I didn't put a due date, which is why it doesn't say missing, it just says assigned. You can also sort it by things that have been returned, things that are missing, and things that have been assigned. Okay, so you need to keep in mind that I am going to be returning work to you, even though you haven't turned it in. So if you're just looking at your missing list, it may not be that accurate because you need to look at things that have been returned as 0s. Okay, and that is important that you know that. I am not going to say that all of your teachers are going to do it this way, but I just wanted you to know that this is how I am going to do it. I do have Google Classroom set up so that it calculates a grade also. I have not figured out where that grade shows up on your view. The only thing I'm thinking is, because I haven't done anything yet, I'm wondering if my student view is not showing a grade because I have 0s across the board. But I will get back to you if I figure out where that is. If you have any other questions about how to navigate Google Classroom and look at the things you owe, just let me know.